Breaking news in our Law and Justice lead. We just told you about multiple high-level resignations at the Justice Department and the Southern District of New York U.S. Attorney's Office, all of them apparently prompted by the Trump administration's order for a New York court to drop the corruption case against New York Mayor Eric Adams. And now CNN has just obtained two letters. One is the resignation letter from the acting U.S. Attorney in New York. The other is the response she got from Trump's Deputy Attorney General, Emile Beauvais. Let's go straight to CNN's Evan Perez. On Evan, just to remind everyone, Nadine Sassoon, the U.S. Attorney, the acting U.S. Attorney in question, is a conservative, a member of Danielle Sassoon, a conservative, a member of the Federalist Society. She clerked for Antonin Scalia. That's just a little background for people. What's in the letters?
That's right, Jake. And we should note she was put in place as the acting U.S. Attorney in Manhattan by this current Trump team. In other words, they believed she could be trusted to run this office. And now it appears to have fallen apart all over because Emile Beauvais, who is the Deputy Attorney General, he's the acting Deputy Attorney General, had ordered her and her office to dismiss the charges, the corruption charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams. And so these two letters here, Jake, are extraordinary because they are part of a spiraling crisis that is ongoing right now at the Justice Department. Not only is Danielle Sassoon, also has she resigned, but also two officials here at the Justice Department headquarters have resigned as a result of what has been going on. I'll read you just of what some of what Danielle Sassoon says in her letter to the Attorney General yesterday. She accuses Beauvais of essentially being part of a quid pro quo with attorneys for Eric Adams. She describes a meeting that happened on January 31st in which she says, I attended a meeting on January 31st with Mr. Beauvais, Adams' counsel, and members of my team. Adams' attorneys repeatedly urged what amounted to a quid pro quo, indicating that Adams would be in a position to assist with the department's enforcement priorities only if this indictment were dismissed. What Adams and his attorneys were offering was that he would help with the enforcement of immigration activities in New York City, you know, the sanctuary status, all the things that Donald Trump wants, if they drop this case. And, you know, that's one of the things she makes in this accusation. Now, Beauvais, for his part, responds today saying, essentially, we're accepting your resignation. And he also puts on administrative leave the attorneys who are running this case in the Manhattan U.S. Attorney's Office. And I'll read you just a part of what he says. He says that they had determined that there was weaponization in bringing this case, Jake. And he says the Justice Department will not tolerate the insubordination and apparent misconduct reflected in the approach that you and your office have taken in this matter. So what we know now, Jake, is this. After he had asked for the office to dismiss this case, and she had declined, saying nobody in her office was willing to sign the documents to dismiss the case, what happens next is that Beauvais goes to the public integrity section here in Washington, and he asks them, go to New York and sign these dismissals. They also declined, and they resigned. So as a result, Kevin Driscoll, who's the top career lawyer in the criminal division overseeing the public integrity section, he resigned today. And John Keller, also the acting head of the public integrity section, Jake, he resigned as a result of all of this.
Fascinating stuff. Evan Perez, thanks so much. Let's talk about this with Ellie Honig, CNN senior legal analyst, who was an associate U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York. And Ellie, again, this woman, this acting U.S. attorney, Danielle Sassoon, was a conservative, is a conservative. She clerked for Scalia. She's a member of the Federalist Society. This is not her being a liberal activist prosecutor. Tell us about what kind of statement her resignation makes, do you think, not to mention the people in the public integrity section of DOJ?
Well, Jake, these resignations were courageous and necessary moves. It was the only right and principled and ethical move by all of them. All of them were faced with really a prosecutor's nightmare scenario. They were given a direct order from the DOJ bosses to dismiss a perfectly legitimate indictment before it ever saw a trial jury for purely overtly political reasons. If we look back a few days to Emile Beauvais' instruction to dismiss the case, that letter is a crazy document. It is completely political. It is explicitly political. It says the reason I'm ordering you to dismiss this case has nothing to do with the merits of the case, nothing to do with the evidence, but because Eric Adams essentially needs to be freed up to pursue Donald Trump's immigration agenda. So good for Danielle Sassoon, good for the other DOJ prosecutors. They did the right thing. They took a stand here.
So there were a lot of concerns that the original case against Mayor Adams was dropped for political reasons. And let's be frank here, it's not just about their desire for him to carry out the anti-illegal immigration agenda in New York. Mayor Adams has been very explicitly wooing Donald Trump. And now multiple resignations are linked to this decision from the Justice Department. Do you think the actions of Emile Beauvais are over the line?
100%. I think they're over the line. I think they're political, and I think they're wrong. And Jake, as you said, Eric Adams has been angling for this type of treatment. We thought maybe it would be a pardon for months now. I will tell you, in the SDNY circles that I sort of dwell in, people have been rolling their eyes at this for a long time, saying, oh, he's definitely going to get out of this. Somehow he'll get a pardon. But the way this all happened makes it even worse. The fact that Emile Beauvais instructed SDNY to do it. And by the way, when Danielle Sassoon refused to do it, and you're right, by the way, to note that she's a conservative. Not only was she a Federalist Society member, she penned an op-ed against Joe Biden a few weeks ago, just sort of gratuitously criticizing Joe Biden's pardons. But when Beauvais told her to do this, to dismiss the case, and when Danielle Sassoon refused, this part is really chilling to me. Emile Beauvais then fired back with a letter that Evan just referred to that said, fine, everyone around you is going to be put on administrative leave too, and now we're going to investigate you, not criminally, but through our Inspector General, which is the in-house ethics watchdog. So that is sending an unmistakable and I think chilling message, which is get on board with the political agenda here or be punished.
And it's amazing because she was prosecuting an allegedly corrupt Democrat who is kissing up to Trump. It's really remarkable. You couldn't write this. If you put this in a screenplay, people would be like, that's too broad. That would never happen. Elie Honig, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
All right.